Who benefited the most working with David Foster, Celine Dion or Chicago? This is a good question because Chicago changed their whole tenure and vibe in the 80s. More synth pop bass, more the guitars, strings, the kind of things that is very known for David Foster's productions. He's very heavy handed with tones and feels. And it worked for Chicago. Peter Cetera's voice ate that thing up like syrup on hotcakes. I mean, it really complimented what he was doing. For better or for worse, depends on who you talk to. Because Chicago fans that I know feel about Chicago sound changing kind of like Cool in the Gang fans felt, when they went more commercial. But hey, pays the bills, and you get to stay in a 5-star hotel as opposed to the Super 8, Super Motel 6, So hey, it means different things for different people. But the sounds with Chicago had that over the top dramatic, which is part of his sound. If you listen to David Foster, he has this heavy orchestration sound. It's bombastic and it has a way in the cadence. And then the vocals are very stringy and he has a certain type of tone and feel that he does. So it's a Foster production. So Chicago ran with that, and it was very instrumental in them winning awards and selling records and you know, um, it was pretty big back at that time. I remember listening to a lot of records because when I listened to their records in the 80s, it was very dramatically different than what I listened to uh, their old stuff. Their old stuff had that trombone and woodwinds hit differently. So the stuff they did with Foster was more 80s inspired synthesizers, what have you. Now, Celine Dion, her vocal range, her tone, her pitch, everything like that, um, it fit him like a glove with the almost like an Andrew Lloyd Webber type of thing because he loves those orchestration hits and he's very chordy, the chords, and you can just definitely tell she was the right vocalist for what he wanted to do. Yeah, that's the best way I could describe it. And I think it's interesting because like it's a wonder they didn't do projects together because Peter Cetera and Celine Dion's voices would have, if they had done more, had done some things, could have put like a whole record out, especially with the David Foster production. If you do the David Foster songbook and the stylings, especially where he sounded in the 80s to the early 90s, you can always tell the tone and the vibrato that he's going for. It's a certain cadence and the way he likes the orchestration and the choruses and the tone. So it would have been interesting. It would have definitely would have been an interesting mix. But who do I think got the most out of him? I'm going to probably say Celine Dion because she found her niche and her lane, which took her to another level. She was big time. Her voice, her tone was a match made with what he was producing. So with his writing and his styling. Now, of course, you could say Chicago, but Chicago already had their identity. It just gave them another branch to climb onto for the new era. But for her, it was peak prime. Everything followed into David Foster. So when I say that, I can honestly say that that's how I look at her trajectory. It really was hit like that, and I think that you know, it culminated like that. But anyway, tell me what you think though. Who benefited the most with David Foster's production? Chicago, Celine Dion. Please hit like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands, keep your mind clear, watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit that membership because when you do, requests like this come true. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. I'm out. Peace.